What did you think of particularly the betrayal of the Aga? What did you think of the? What did you? Let's call them what
the Dora Milaje. Should we just call them that since you know how to pronounce it?
Because that was something that's actually been.
I don't know.
And that's why all of this is just it's a lot of it's mixed to put it kind. It's been mixed reception wise. Like
to be woke is to be aware of what is around you. The sufferings of others are included in that. How your actions affect other people are included in being woke. We got we got grandma over here undercutting the parents. That's what we got.
Grandma was sitting there hitting the fucking.
She was chilling on the left, man. She was in a good mood.
Grandma was. That's basically, isn't that how grandparents are history? Like, they ain't my kids. Let me be wild.
But it also has given places where we can actually utilize it for journalism. We can use it for protest. We can use it to be able to get ideas to kind of coagulate a little bit better. I'm gonna lay down my burdens.
Don't run from them notes. We know you a rocker. We know you don't do R&B. You do rock.
I do R&B, bro. I'm soul and like blues kind of person, dog.
Blues,
bro.
Yeah. That's the rhythm and blues.
Yes, I got that, bro.
But you rock. You are R&B. It's the rock and the blues. See, you the Chuck Berry, the Muddy Waters type. You know what I'm saying?
Said, bro.
Man, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Why you nod your head and say no?
Nah, bro. No. I be wanting to be a David Ruffin so bad sometimes when I sing. That's why
the saltiest nigga that ever was.
Your love is fading. I feel it.
Whole life was on Salty Edition, brother. This nigga would go to the shows and get on stage and be like, I was one of the Temptations. I'm here. Let me sing with him. Y'all want to hear me sing? Yeah. And these Temptations would be like, this nigga David here again.
Bro.
David Ruffin, y'all ain't nothing though. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Why was David good?
Hold on. Wait.
You don't want them to see you, Otis? Yeah, true.
Bro, David Ruffin has
been so disrespectful.
David Ruffin is the Temptations, dog. In my eyes, dog. I know that sounds so fucking harsh, but he is the fucking Temptations to me, dog. But like, you can't get over fucking that man said that like, fuck, cause so badly I wanna go outside. Cause everyone knows that a man is supposed to cry. I don't know the fuck. I don't have I being put on the spot on my own. I'm forcing myself on the spot for something.
You ain't gotta put yourself on the spot. This is why
you did this to yourself.
I did this to myself.
Like this shit ain't live, and then just go look it up, get a nice good clip of it, and then we'll just put it on later.
See,
what's up, Derek? Shout out to you, man.
This is not my thing. This is not my thing naturally to do. So.
Who came up with tonight's title? That was this guy.
This guy here. Yeah.
What's the history?
The court gesture.
The court gesture?
Yeah. Jester.
The
court gesture.
Gesture. Bro, don't talk about my southern dialect. So y'all practice Chapatulas yet? Y'all pronounce that yet? Y'all got that? All right.
Hell no.
Leave me alone then. Leave me be.
How often are we gonna say that word though?
I don't say.
I plan on going to that part of.
Nobody says.
I don't plan on going to that part of Louisiana anytime. So we got limited time, so let's get into the show.
Gotcha. We ain't got no limited time, brother. Only limited time we got is the time that the good Lord has given us.
That's
okay.
That's
just trying to tell you, we here tonight, brothers. And the only reason we say tonight is simply because the earth is rotated this direction from the sun.
Correct. So tonight I'm not gonna record on the board today, but with that,
Wait, we don't have the claps. We don't have the hand claps.
Oh no, we got the clown class, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, people who conform to gender norms, and people who say, you know what, fuck that. My name is History Williams, and that is JT, the voice. He is our voice actor. He's our voice of reason. He's the guy that's celebrating his birthday a little bit too early, but we're gonna still have this man say this is Leo season. Represent that Leo season.
Right.
Round of applause for Leo season right now.
Round of applause to all my Leos up in there.
So with that, man,
me.
this is JT the voice over there. And then right there below this guy right over here, he is our Eastside reviewer. He is the guy who has been doing all of the hard work, pounding the pavement, making sure that we are being.
You ain't got to talk. You ain't got to make fun of his walking like that, saying it's pounding the pavement. Damn, that's rude.
Damn.
I didn't say
God damn.
Damn.
You talk about damn.
I thought we were supposed to like each other or something. Like, damn. There's negativity coming from the state of Michigan.
And it ain't coming from here, dog.
It's all love, dog.
The entire west side of Michigan.
Corruption can get in there and ruin everything.
Oh God, Jesus, bro! I ain't say nothing bad. So with that, we gonna give it a round of applause. Round of applause. That's I'm talking
Jesus
about.
Christ.
Hey,
It's Jamel.
Hey,
I'm here. I'm on the show.
In the palace.
God damn. How did my intro get so
they
fucked
broke
up?
the chalice from the palace, y'all. They broke the chalice from the palace.
Jesus. Jamel, Eastside reviews on
right
YouTube.
here. This is real life, y'all.
God damn.
Real life.
JT fucked up my intro one time, and I just tripped and stumbled all the way through the rest of this. I usually, yeah, I go to, bruh, damn. With that, thank you and welcome to the Historical Voices from the East Side.
I ain't getting no applause neither. God damn.
Well, JT didn't get no applause. We just gave applause for Leo season. So here.
Thank you.
The biggest round of applause.
I'm just saying, my intro got stumbled and fumbled on so much. I could have at least got that. So let's.
Oh, that was my fault. I was being funny.
Gotcha. That's okay. No, that's all right. With that, man, how y'all doing today, gentlemen?
I was doing fine.
Some co-workers.
My feelings are hurt.
Look. Who said it was a salty edition? Nobody.
Hey, what's up, Trail?
I said it was a salty edition.
What's up, Trail? This for you, buddy.
Oh, damn.
Oh, Trail got a first syllable? I didn't know that. I didn't think he had one. I thought his name was just TRELL.
God damn. Say, dog, I really
why'd your mama name you Trail, dog? She wanted the longest word she could say that was just one syllable.
Fuck. I really want them on the
This is actually something that I learned about him in high school. He's actually named after Montreal, Quebec.
Yeah, I really want Trail and JT on the podcast together, and just like accidentally.
We were on the podcast together, but
so I don't really count that.
Jamel so much.
Oh yeah,
I did what I just did, and I just did some minor. Oh, you gonna take that dog shit, and that set Jamel off. And Jamel really didn't need that nonsense that day, and he's the jelly that holds our peanut butter together. So we need his.
I'm sitting right here. I'm
Sure,
you're
not invited.
Peanut butter. I'm the bread.
Tonight you're not invited.
Be honest.
I'm the bread. I'm the bread. So you just go.
Maybe you're the bread and I'm the peanut butter, though. Huh? What do you think?
So I'm Ryan Coogler.
Nah, history. Don't send Trail the link. I don't need that. I don't need that much negativity tonight. I don't need that.
We already got a guest for later on.
No, we got Wakia tonight, bro. So we're gonna have him come on later. But Montreal is gonna be. I got an idea, and I've been trying to pitch it, but I didn't get a response, so I'm gonna pitch it again later. But with that, man, y'all ain't gonna call me Ryan Coogler. I only made a couple of good movies.
Yourself, brother.
You know what? I'm really good at doing a lot of things other than baking bread. So with that, if y'all don't get that reference, go check out our Black Panther episode. That was a fantastic episode.
That movie was a loaf.
Oh fuck!
I thought it was making a sandwich. That was a long time ago.
That was. All right, with that, man. We usually do a Velvet Freight Train. I do not have any of the graphics because my computer decided to act stupid. But today we was actually going to talk about the actual lawyer who is actually pushing helping to indict do RICO indictment on Donald Trump. This is the same lady who went after the YSL. That's the rap group. Young Thug and all the rest of them.
Young Thug and the niggas that he's associated with.
Yeah, for the RICO charge. Same lady, same lawyer.
He named himself Young Thug. I mean, if that doesn't put a target on your back for certain litigation, I don't know what does.
Yes.
But anyway,
they're also very sloppy in court.
But not only that, I kind of wanted to give it to lawyers in general because of the fact that also our big uncle in Montgomery, Alabama, was able to be released. And look like he's not gonna get no charges because of the fact that apparently Alabama has a law that if a person looks like they're in trouble or distress, you can take it upon yourself to defend them by any means necessary. So because of the fact that
that's what's up.
That's a law.
That is the first time I've heard of that law being used for good.
Yes, so it's not like a stand your ground law, but it's a law where if you see a person is being in distress, obviously with the boat captain in the fight, and then other people were in the fight as well, that's where that law is. But the problem is, here's the only problem. You got to be able to negotiate it for Onk and not those other people. Because here's the problem. 5 people try to jump that captain.
There just 5? Just 5?
It was just 5 initially, the white folks. The problem is, one could argue the reason why the other 4 jumped in when the fight was initially between that boat captain and that I don't know the guy under the store owner name, because of the fact that they seen them 2 fighting, they can actually say that they also were trying to defend him as well. So it's kind of a slippery slope, but not really. You know what I mean? We're not ice skating uphill right now, but but
dog, that lady, let RIP to that lady. I don't know if she dead or not, but RIP. She was sitting there, got clocked in the head like Ken Shamrock. That shit was hilarious. It was that felt unnecessary, but also
it only felt unnecessary if you watch that video backwards. You'd be like, "Damn, what did she do?" Dude, and then if you watch them, you get to be like, "Oh, never mind. Yeah, she had it coming." Yeah, that dude scoped her. He was like, "And that one right there with the white on."
Teed off on that lady, just like it was whack-a-mole.
Lady purple, man.
Bruh, other people who was fighting her were like, "Yo, you do it too much. Get your ass back."
But you know that was a plastic chair.
Yeah, it was a plastic chair.
So it makes it less cool.
So, it does, but like it also makes it less deadly.
It's still fun. It's also still fun. Like
it is so much more comical, right?
Correct. It is.
Because the chances of her having like long-term like CTE or something like that, it's lessened. So now we can just enjoy the laughter.
Correct.
Wasn't there an episode where Cartman tried to beat somebody with like a wiffle bat, and he tried to beat them to death?
Yeah, he tried to beat fucking Kyle ass to death with the wiffle ball bat, and
he was going through the South Park, right?
He beat Kyle. He was trying to beat Kyle to death on a boat. He was just like, "I'm going to stand here until you're dead," and he spent the whole night fucking bonking his ass with a wiffle ball bat. Indicting, and I feel wrong because I need to make sure I put some respect on that lady's name. Indicting Donald Trump, but
it's too bad we don't got Google.
I am Googling right now. Huh?
You talking about Fannie Willis?
Yes, because that was a joke because they say that Fannie Mae and Fannie Willis are 2 Fannies that you don't want to fuck with. So with that, but yeah, man, Fannie Willis, she helping to put RICO charges on motherfucking Donald Trump. That is so wild. So I am giving a round of applause.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, Velvet Freight Train of the week, bro. To slide that in. You were thinking that she was busy Where why Young Thug? No, she said, I got time for the president. So
Well, some bullshit is still occurring because apparently there's some one of the state senators in Georgia is trying to move towards impeaching Miss Willis over the Trump prosecutions, but hopefully
crazy,
nothing's
dog.
If you impeach somebody because of them doing their job, it sounds
Yes.
like they're onto something.
Even
The
if I'm gonna
crazy
say,
part is how it's some people in the general public who have gotten onto this organized crime syndication as the RICO law is de facto charging them with.
Mhm.
Like you're operating like a organized crime family, doing some
yes,
stuff outside the law to try to subvert the will that goes directly against the Constitution. And the fact that you got people out there who are okay with that and they support this, that is the craziest part to me.
yes,
This mug was just like, hell, there was fraud. There was fraud everywhere, everywhere. All right, show us the evidence. Well, we don't have any, but we need to stop and check and make sure there wasn't any fraud. But you brought this lawsuit up because you said you had evidence.
yes.
And that was the whole lie, is they claim to have this evidence. And man, it's like this, it's just been a bad PR campaign. So in
Yes.
Georgia, where these charges are getting taken up, I'm sorry to take over the segment, y'all, but in Georgia, where these charges are getting taken up, they have passed laws based off of there being fraud. So, and this law was drafted by none other than the Heritage Foundation. Who are they? Look them up, y'all. Trust me, these
Yes.
people whispering into a lot of powerful white folks' ears.
Yes.
And this RICO law, man, this shit is. Y'all remember Sons of Anarchy, right?
Yes.
I've seen The Dark Knight.
Yeah. But like Sons of Anarchy, they had the weird dude, old Mental Mozart or whatever he was, trying to pin a RICO lawsuit on them because saying they're an organized crime family.
Yes.
That is what Georgia's saying. You acting like, hey, Trump and your little pack of lawyers, you acting like organized crime family. And these lawyers is coming up saying, oh, well, you know what, we'll just go ahead and whip up the public and tell them that there was fraud and we need to stop the count. And then the exact same time telling them, oh, they're trying to stop the count. Tell them to count the votes. Shit's crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I got
no, man.
This is important. It wears on my soul, but it's very important to protecting our democracy as a country. You got to understand the severity of these charges.
Man, one day we need to talk
this
about
election was 3 years ago. And
with Hollywood. We need to really do an episode where we talk about how the mafia was involved with the Hollywood, dog. That would be a good way to like transition and shit, because I'm pretty sure the mafia funded our movie that we're going to be talking about later because of how old that movie is. If you ever get a chance, look up the mafia in Hollywood. It's a fantastic story.
Why don't you give us a nutshell instead of telling people,
I'm not going to
bring that content to our program?
Well, I want to do an episode on it. I really want to do some like actual love and tender love and care with it. So
that's what you got in October, huh?
Yeah,
along with your
bruh, I can't wait to
Halloween stuff.
Bruh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I feel like I'm gonna put this show back on its feet. I feel like I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna help.
Skip to October.
We can't. We got September, man. We got TV.
I feel insulted because I feel insulted.
We got
what you just said.
Out on this, Jermaine.
Back on its feet.
Out on this dog. He's been holding out the whole time.
Gotcha. I feel like I'm gonna put it on back on our feet, bro.
What are you gonna bring up? Final Destination?
No, I'm not gonna put Final Destination.
Bullshit ass horror movies.
I got something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
There not be no whack shit.
A bunch of
y'all have feet. I'm gonna put y'all back on your feet.
Saw?
Nah, we don't got Saw. So with that, man,
we gonna guess, y'all. You got to give us like 5 guesses a week or something till we lead up.
Well, actually, do it with people involved. Jamel actually and JT had an idea for next week. So what was the idea that we agreed upon?
No, that was the week after the final Thursday of
final Thursday. So what about that? So let's do that ahead of time.
So the final Thursday of the month, we were actually gonna, put a poll up on the Facebook group, on the Facebook page, with selections of movies for us to watch. But then we decided, let's do the lazier option. We want people who are watching, we want y'all to select the movies. So drop movies over the next couple of weeks in the Facebook group. If you're a part of our group chat, go ahead and leave your movie suggestions there, and we will select one of those movies to watch for the final Thursday in August because I'm selecting the movie for next week, and JT, of course, has this week. And that leaves 1 week left. History's not doing anything until September. So please drop your movie suggestions in the Historical Voices Facebook page. Leave them. It can be any movie that's not bullshit. Come with some heat. Give us some movies that you would not expect us to do. We didn't expect to do a movie tonight from the 50s, but hey, give us something. Give us something fun. Nothing that we've done before. Nothing bullshit. Again, no whack uber bullshit. I will quit the show. One of y'all say Blood Rain or any of that bullshit about Uber Bowl. I am not on that show. I'm letting you know ahead of time. I am done on that week. I will be off. So come with some heat. Come with some heat, and we'll see y'all selections on August the 31st.
Yeah, I'm not putting out anything
a
at all.
very
I'm waiting for
greasy
everyone.
response from a very greasy bearded friend.
Yes. So
Damn, greasy. Like, why can't you say it's nicely
This is
oiled?
why we can't be sponsored. You said we took the lazier option. I said let our A1s decide. Because
yes.
you've been watching, we value you, and we want your input. So
I-
what would y'all like to hear us talk about? You dig?
Yes.
Man, don't you?
I wouldn't mind Cool Runnings, to be honest. I wouldn't mind doing Cool Runnings. 'Cause I haven't
Look,
seen that in a
I
long
can
time.
tell you right now, we gonna come to a consensus.
Gotcha. So
That's all I can say about Cool Runnings, and that's
Yep.
one of the problems with doing the big popular good stuff is we know what we gonna say.
yes. So I'm not picking anything at all. I'm not even putting anything. I'm not going to suggest anything at all. I'm probably barely going to suggest anything for September. I have an idea for what I want, but I feel like all of us have watched it already.
Oh,
So-
and just to let y'all know, September we're going to start incorporating TV shows. So be on the lookout for that. And
Just a season, not the full
Listen, y'all.
the whole
Listen.
catalog.
If we all seen the movie, and we all know the movie enough to give a decent review about it, that should be something we can discuss here on the show.
Correct.
And we could just go on a tangent and talk about Cool Runnings because I know that movie is a winner
Yes.
for a lot of reasons, even though it was a bit dramatic and got a couple of the things wrong. John Candy is just, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anything that John Candy touches is at least an edger. Seriously, the guy is just gold. What a great person. And anytime he's like Denzel. Anything that he touches, it's going to be at least, at least something decent that you can watch and sit through once. What did we rate Fences?
We rated Fences. I want to say that it ultimately
I think it was
came
at
down to
least
edger. I want to say it came down to
edger.
being an edger. Yeah.
It's Denzel for you.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think
kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of this. Is the word magnanimous? A lot of this stuff is like big. We all kind of know about. It's cool if we talk about them here. We don't have to make it into a formal review. So if you want to talk about some stuff, bring it up.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I think the reason why, like a formal review, I guess you would say, or like that full hour, because of the fact that I want to be able to give it the same TLC that I would give it if it was something that was brand new. Because
Sure.
like Cool Runnings, I
Sometimes
haven't
looking
seen
back-
Cool Runnings since I was like in elementary school.
Right.
So
why
being
don't
able
we
to
talk about Cool Runnings, give our
Yeah.
rose-tinted reviews of it, go watch it, see how right we were.
Yeah, I would say that we could do something like that and just like have
Only
something.
thing is, I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
I couldn't give
Yeah.
a pre-review before. I haven't seen that
yeah,
in many a
Right.
years. Last
But
time I
you-
saw it, it was
but you
on.
talk about-
It was a
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme.
yes,
Everyone ready? It's bobsled time.
yes.
Cool Runnings. You know that, right? You know
Yes.
these words. Do they make you feel? Do they do a certain action in your head?
Kind
You
of,
see
yeah,
him pushing that bobsled.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So this is the kind of stuff, these bells that ring in your head when you talk about Cool Runnings. I see the Jamaican bobsled. I see them walking it through. I see them practicing. You put, rocks in the weights in the bottom. Da, da, da. I see like the impactful moments. How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt? And all of these things go into the mix of how we remember Cool Runnings in our own head.
Yes.
That's the stuff I'm after. So I think it would be extra cool if you talk about it and then you go measure what you was talking about with an updated version of it.
We'll do that
You
one day.
know, because
I don't
that's
mind doing
kind
that.
of it'll show that growth in your mind. Like you stretched this subject a little more than you just kind of held on the shelf to.
Yeah.
And then we can give it that TLC. But there's no reason to like, oh, we can't talk about this unless we do a formal review because we missing some juice. And we're gonna let that juice marinate. That's what I'm after. I'm after that
That's
pot
fair.
liquor.
That's fair. See, my thing
What you
is,
think, viewers? Does that make sense?
see, my thing is that like kind of like what Jamel says. I barely remember the movie. I do remember the words. It's very easy to remember the words. Hey, pretty girl, yeah, you got something that you won't believe. Jamaica has a bobsled team. Like I remember those things, but as far as like what the context was after that, it just kind of doesn't like is not fresh in my mind. I will say the most impactful part is not a part that like is talked about as much as the fact of like, oh, they carried the bobsled to the finish line. My part that I can definitely say verbatim is that I remember is when one of the racers was showing a picture and saying that this is going to be my house one day. I'm going to own this place one day. And then they say, well, basically made him feel stupid about the fact. And come to find out it was Buckingham Palace. That's what he was showing the whole time. And so they did such a good job by trying to show that a person who's getting bullied and kind of fought with throughout the whole movie now kind of has some camaraderie, but then also told him that he will have some type of value in his legacy. And that's a very hard thing to have, is the fact of like, man, I go back to my school bully. I think sometimes like it's hard for us as human beings to be able to sit there and say, you still have value, even though you're having this tough time. You know what I mean? Or you have been this kind of way as this person. So I love that part of the scene is the fact that saying that he's going to still get his palace one day, despite the fact that they were trying to make him seem dumb and seem poor and everything like that. And sometimes in that film. So I love that actual scene when it was in the hotel, when they talked about the Buckingham Palace. But also on top of that, I would love to talk about Buckingham Palace in that film because of the fact that the Queen was associated with Africa in those times. So that would be
Due
fantastic.
to a legacy of exploitation.
Exactly. So
Colonialism.
exactly. But we are, I know that we started a little bit late, so let's still give this movie still the love it deserves. Most movies we give about 45 minutes an hour. Let's give this movie the love that it deserves. So Jamel, actually, let's bring in our special guest today.
Are we still talking about Cool Running?
We're not talking about Cool Running, man. Do you want to talk about Cool
We're
Running?
actually going to the movie of the week.
We're going to the movie of the week.
28 minutes in. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're really.
I mean, that's a decision by the captain.
host.
So
Yeah.
That was a decision by one of the hosts. This is a council.
Gotcha. Okay. What this is the blur?
Dog, you said we ain't done a proper. I said what I said for a minute.
We haven't. But
so let me tell you, I need to ask you a question.
Go ahead. All right.
Did you watch that second Borat movie?
Yes, I did. I've only watched it one time, and I tried my hardest to get through it. Yes.
That was the one with or was it Bruno? No, it was Borat.
Bruno
right?
was pretty bad too.
The second Borat movie is the Rudy Giuliani one.
Yeah, that one that was crazy. And so after all of this stuff with this Rico, and after the Borat 2 especially, how has America's mayor changed for y'all since September 11th?
Yeah. Honestly, listening to people who are from New York, they never really like, especially black people, never really fucked with Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
And if you actually go back and you like I've seen documentaries where it details wasn't really for everybody, if you know what I mean. But it is wild how far his perception has fallen, because after 9/11, you would see him on the news, and he
was hugging Barack Obama, dog.
Face of strength. He was this figure of, in a dark time for America, in a dark time for America's metropolis. He was the leader. He was a solid figure. And over the decade, this motherfucker has fallen off badly. It is hilarious seeing how awful not Mitt Romney, Rudy Giuliani has been over the last few decades, from his incompetence being Trump's lawyer to remember that time he had that weird brown shit leaking from his head, or the time the fact that he got his top veneers done.
We'll just do the old shoe polish. We used to do this back in the day.
This nigga had his top veneers done and had his regular old fucked up crooked yellow teeth at the bottom. And oh my God. And it's just, there's so many things that Rudy Giuliani being associated with Donald Trump, his reputation is in shambles. And now, dog, I hope he gets disbarred for this shit. I want everything that bad happened to this dumb bastard. It's just funny to watch.
The jokes are so hard about him and Mitch McConnell being like vampires and blobs of skin and stuff like that. The jokes have been writing themselves when they come to the perception of how they look. But I think that when it comes to Rudy Giuliani, he got lucky for two really unfortunate situations happening. So think about it like this. We think about like George Bush. George Bush got criticized just a tad bit for the fact that he sat there for a few seconds in that elementary school while the Twin Towers was getting attacked. And he just looked like he was doing nothing, right? But then all of a sudden, Katrina hit. And obviously, it looked like he was at a place of power at one point in time to the rest of the country. But for Louisiana, nobody gave a fuck about it.
Doing a hell of a job, Brownie.
Yeah. So Bush was not doing anything for Louisiana, for the people of Louisiana at one point in time.
Kind of like Trump's COVID response, huh?
Kind of, yeah. So
I was going to say like Trump's response to the hurricane in Puerto Rico, where he was just throwing the paper towels like that to us.
I wouldn't even say that, man.
Like
see, the problem is
goddamn convention.
Yeah, see, like Trump was more insulting than the rest of that. So, yeah, Trump was more insulting than than Bush, because at least Bush, when they showed him on screen, it looked like he was kind of back, like doing business. He made it look like he was doing something, right? And here is my one part. I will say this. At least this is from what I remember. If I need to be corrected, whoever wants to correct me later. So when I was younger, man, I know y'all always knew that I wanted to be, and wanted to be in journalism. My specific part that I really wanted to be when I was younger was meteorology. My mom, from when I got punished, she would make me watch the recurring news, the news channel. So like whatever came on at 5 o'clock in the morning, it was playing the same thing over and over, all the way till like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, same thing over and over till 12. So my mom,
that is an unusual punishment. I don't know if it's cruel, but it is unusual.
That was the only TV that I was allowed to watch. But the reason why she wanted me to do it is because of the fact that she wanted me to write news reports. She wanted not news reports, but like book reports and stuff like that. So to make me do better in school, but also on top of that, like make it kind of where I'm kind of can see, oh, if I keep fucking up, this is where I'm going to end up, kind of like thing. Because you obviously got the section that's talking about like, oh, how many murders are happening. So I used to watch WWL TV, which, by the way, big shout outs to my cousin. He just got a sports reporter job in WWL TV, top 10 market. Congratulations to Seth Lewis for that. But used to watch WWL TV and then also WDSU. But I wanted to be a fucking meteorologist. But I also used to watch the actual conventions for meteorology as well. And the government did give money to New Orleans to fix those walls. Nagin didn't do shit to fix those walls. So there is a part, if you go to New Orleans, you will see where floodgates, cement down for a few miles. Then all of a sudden, regular fence that you do to block your neighbor's dog from coming to your yard. So like the Mississippi River is being blocked by a fence in certain parts, a hill and a fence. So they could have done more to take care of the floodgates for New Orleans, because what destroyed New Orleans was not necessarily the hurricane. It was the actual negligence of the city itself. So with that, at least Bush looked like he was doing something. Donald Trump, was being kind of a failed president, man. He was going down there and just like
You can take that kind of out.
huh? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he was.
Take
A, he
that
was.
kind of out.
It's
Yeah,
actually a better C word. I can think of a few more, but consummate failed president.
yeah. He was
Bad.
failed. He at least Bush
Y'all
gave me
know what's wild?
doing something.
Some people don't look at the
Nobody
pictures to
had
that conclusion. Yeah.
George Bush. He is lucky because Donald Trump is making him look like a
Really?
Fantastic.
not necessarily a better he looks like a competent person, not necessarily better. Because Bush had dumbass moments. Like
if you go
but
back and watch,
it's
oh
like-
my God, it was bad.
No, I think what sealed the deal for Bush.
but it's just like God damn.
I think what sealed the deal for Bush to be to look like a competent president is when he put his shit to the side, and then when him, Barack Obama, and was it Jimmy
Clinton.
Carter,
Clinton.
they were all standing in a circle together, and Donald Trump did not stand there to talk to help like inaugurate Biden into being president. So that made him look very much so like, all right, maybe he wasn't as bad.
He's a weak
But-
little man who just can't deal with losing. And that's
Correct.
his problem. Like the other people, like if you lost, Al Gore bowed out gracefully, even though he had a heck of a case.
Yeah.
And I remember looking back, I just always wonder, like, if Al Gore would have got a hold of these people, maybe we could have something cooler in America.
Yeah.
Instead, we got more coal and gas
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want that newer, greener world, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like we gave up that for Bush.
Correct.
And if you go back and you watch Bush off the cuff, that dude didn't answer questions.
Nope.
Because that involves you overstanding the situation. And I think that's what a president should be good at, is overstand. They got all these advisors to give them the idea, the sit rep of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's ATM machine. But still, I think that Donald Trump never really got over understanding how America actually worked, because he was just like, I just do things this way, and I'm going to do things this way with the power of the White House now. And it didn't change him. He never saw the bigger picture and thinking that these people he has to take care of now. These are his citizens. He was loyal subjects. That's how his ass felt. And it became more apparent as time went on. And when Bush especially acted more human.
Well, yeah, it became like more human, but I think that like when we look at it though, we got to reflect back on like Bill Clinton. We got to reflect back on Bush Sr. and also Nagin at the time. We really didn't have a president. Reagan. Sorry,
you mean the black? Oh, the mayor. Are you talking about the mayor?
I was talking about Ray Nagin earlier, and then Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Reagan, and so Reagan, and when we go back to
okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
I know where
history right balls deep in this point.
No, go right ahead.
So we got to look back at those presidents, Bill Clinton, and then also we had Bush, Bill Clinton, we had Bush Sr., then we had Reagan. And honestly, like we never had a president for us 20 years prior to, at least 20 years prior to Barack Obama. But then even when he came back into office, he still feels like he got an asterisk behind his name. It's because of the fact that it felt like he wasn't at full defense of us. But now I'm kind of
West would tell you why.
Yes. And a lot of people would say it. I mean, at one point in time, our fucking like civil rights leader, Jesse Jackson, told that he wanted to cut his nuts off. So on accident on a hot mic.
Jesse was hating.
Jesse was wild, man. But we felt like we never had a president that was for us, and we never had a person that was kind of that supported us. Now, I'm kind of glad that we have things like social media now, because now we got dudes making raps about like how the actual government works and stuff like that, and why you need to vote for those small people, and then also what their roles are. So it makes sense why he's kind of had his nuts in a clamp for a while. I guess if you want to, no pun into the Jesse Jackson joke, but we never had a president really feel truly for us. We just kind of had a glimmer of that with Barack Obama. So when we have Donald Trump, it just feels like Donald Trump was that cherry. And all right, we got the presentation. We get it. You don't fucking like this group of people. We get it. You don't care about poor people. We get it.
They don't care.
Bomb the rest of those people. We get it. And I think that's the problem with Donald Trump, is the fact that he was doing all this shit, but he was sounding like the same old record, just put it on the amplified. So I think that, like, I mean, that's the problem. We got to analyze all those
songs of the record, man. He was the part where the record skips over the best part. That was Donald Trump. Can you imagine listening to something and you got like a 5-year-old scratching and they don't know how to do it, and they just don't let you listen to the song the way it could be, or they don't have a mastery of the craft? That's what it was. That's what it was like. Donald Trump didn't have a mastery of the craft. It was worse than just being amplified.
Yeah,
because it was like he could have at least tried a little.
Yeah,
but he is himself.
That's very true. But it also shows that this is what happens when you put a businessman in front of running the country.
He's a mob boss. That's what the fuck he is.
Yeah, that's the wording that a lot of people kept saying. That's what the wording was. Country is a business. It needs to be ran like a business. But that's what happens when you have a person who runs businesses.
Which fundamentally you can't do that. You can't run a place you can't run a country like you run a business, because there's too much people factors into it. Michigan is a perfect example of the smart nerd, somebody trying to run a state like a business, and then you see the consequences. You have shit like Flint. The Flint water crisis is directly because of the policies of Rick Snyder, because he tried to run the state like a business. And you can't do that. You can't run people like you run a business. Just doesn't work.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the last thing
I think we should spend time, at least one show, just shitting on former presidents. Like Ronald Reagan is the president that just
we should do
a shat on so much.
I got the perfect movie for
us
to do that though.
Ronald Reagan was aggressively.
Yeah, fellas, we should write a rap song. Dissing all of the presidents.
I got
with the exception of my man Ulysses Grant. Grant, he was literally one of the good ones.
No, Grant was a simple-minded fool. Grant would go across the street to the hotel over there and drink brandy in the bar. And this businessman came up to him, found out, I could just buy the president a drink and ask him to do some stuff. And he was over here changing laws with his business guy. So Ulysses Grant got played.
For what happened, for what he did, particularly for Black people,
why he got elected was good. But the fact that he didn't want to do it and they kind of forced the job on him, he knew he wasn't the dude for the job, and he was right. But anyway, that's some more stuff we could talk about.
So we got two good movies that we can actually push towards this, which is if we want to be like a asshole, we could do Dead Presidents for right before we actually do whatever we need to talk about for presidents. We could do Dead Presidents because that's a perfect movie about like how people hated the government, but then also the government wanted to use all these people to go fight their war. They come back, they can't afford a goddamn thing. They still being called nigga and everything like that. So that's a great fucking movie.
Can you imagine still being called the N-word with a purple heart?
Correct.
Like what was the point?
Correct.
That's
correct.
That
Jesse Owens was getting called a nigga, and he beat Nazi Germany in front of Hitler.
Yeah.
Still getting shat on. That is fucked up.
Respect to the whole squad, Americans too.
Yeah.
And you can't see the team colors because he's colored.
He shitted on Adidas. I don't know if y'all realize he made Adidas look like they were slow. They were false advertising about their athletic shoes, but he still got called all kinds of N-words and stuff like that as soon as he got back home. But we could either do Dead Presidents or we could do the election. But the last one, actually, before we move on, because it does have to
economy, dog. We can cram it all in.
Yes, that is true.
Do it all.
We could do Michael Orr. Before we move on, I didn't think about this. I'm so sorry.
Damn, this should have been the main story. This is
fuck. I just thought about that, dog, because we talked about the elections and like all the false flagging and shit. Michael Orr, dog, that's a wild story, dog, about his that he's now trying to like sue his family because of the fact that they lied about everything that was showed in our famous movie by Sandra Bullock, Blindside, which now
How they took
let's
him into their
pause.
house. That's crazy.
Let's
yeah,
pause for a second.
This is good.
Sandra
We got to
Bullock
get
did.
into this
She
one.
didn't do
Yeah,
nothing
go
wrong.
ahead, Jamel.
I'm
Go
not.
ahead.
We can't.
Hot dog.
Sandra Bullock
yeah, I
didn't do
really,
nothing wrong.
yeah,
It is the people, them white people who
no,
basically fucked this man over. Michael Orr, and I've been listening to Dan Levitar's show. One of the guest hosts is Dominic Foxworth, and he was a
correct,
teammate of Michael Orr in Baltimore. And he talked about he as attested, Michael Orr never liked that movie, never liked the book, never liked how he was presented and represented. Like you go back and you actually watch that movie. There was a point where this nigga didn't know how to he didn't know how to lay down in the bed. Like this, like just not know how to sleep in a bed. He had a 6-year-old white boy teaching him plays using condiment bottles. He was already IRL a D1 recruited athlete, and so it's wild that movie got as big as it did, and people just loved it like the way that they did. But fuck
yeah. So that's the thing that's crazy, and I really want to say this, man. Sandra Bullock should not be fucking thrown on the bus because of these fucking people. And so I think
Sandra Bullock ain't got nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to fucking do with this.
Script.
No, it has nothing to do with it. So fuck all those people for going too far to throw this lady under the bus. And also, man, she adopted one of my family, my New Orleans family members, as her child as well. Not what I mean by New Orleans family, one of my people from New Orleans. She adopted a kid from New Orleans, man. So she's cool with me. So with that, this is kind of strange, dog. So it kind of I go back to a question I believe that JT asked about was, should we do these fucking films anymore? These biopic films anymore? So
I believe that was me who said that because
correct. All right, so cool.
I'm
That's what I'm
slowly
saying.
moving
I don't
into
know.
the
I don't
area
know who said that.
Biopics are kind of shit.
Correct.
Like
For this reason,
I've moved for this reason because there's so many lies that can get told, and I'm documentary
sorry,
over
for the Michael Orr situation. For that reason, that's one reason why biopics.
That's a big reason.
That's a strike.
That's a big reason.
Yeah.
Because that's not the whole story.
Yeah.
And then a lot of stuff is presented like a biopic, like Hidden Figures is not actually a biopic. It's a a storytelling. It's an abbreviation of what happened.
Yeah.
So the biopic itself is subject to a lot of what's the word? Subjection.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh my God! Shout out to Candyman, Green Book. Yeah. That shit.
That Green Book.
That shit won.
So much scrutiny. That is so scrutiny because the piano player or the famous like musician apparently wasn't even that close with the driver like that. That was fucking wild. And it was written by the film was written by shot by his son, the driver's son. So that was kind of a wild one too. But I still think that biopics should be involved. I just think that like honestly, they should have like somebody's touching their hands. Kind of like with Ray. I think the reason why Ray is only intact as much as it is because of the fact that Ray Charles was involved with it. But for example, like that scene where his brother died, that didn't happen. So I wonder how much Ray Charles knew.
You got to give him a little room to be creative. And that's the problem with the biopic is the biopic is designed to be like you were there.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're not. So they got to make something up.
Yeah.
And the real thing I think matters is like if they bring you in along with what they made up to kind of paste over the differences.
Correct.
Did they bring some peanut butter in to fill these cracks or did they bring some jelly?
Yeah.
And they brought a whole lot of jelly apparently to this Sandra Bullock movie, but that is not Sandra's fault. That's the people in their whole lives.
Yes.
But
she's only going off of what she heard.
What gets me about that though, the whole situation, and that's what you could put in a biopic, is these people welcomed this boy into their lives and treated him as if he was a kid. You are my son, da 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 da, but he had none of the benefits of that. They took him into their estate like he was property. and they treated him like another child.
Yes.
Dog, do you know that's like that's awfully in-lawish. You know what I'm saying?
So I will go against you a little bit, Candy. It's because the fact that Selena had nothing to do with Chris Perez, and Chris Perez, those scenes that actually had Chris involved with Selena weren't real scenes per se. So this one, the Selena movie has some type of issues as well. So Selena actually, there's a lot of problems with Selena. I get
I'm
it,
pissed off now.
but that's kind of
Because
Candy is actually
how he
solidifying.
looked at the Hispanic dude about the Hispanic movie.
Man, bro, if you got a Hispanic wife that yells at you about it all day, bro, you learn a couple of things.
You know,
if you got a Hispanic wife yelling at you about it the whole time, dog, I was like, Selena, BD, I was singing that shit a long time too, dog. Look at J-Lo and everything like that. Go ahead, do your thing, homie. And then all of a sudden, I married my wife, and my wife was like, nah, fuck this movie. Where's Chris? Like, my wife would call movies out. So my wife is so pro like Latino Latinx shit. She's like, nah, you got to do right by my people. So like my wife went against watching the Selena TV show because she was like, where's Chris' involvement at? And she was like, fuck that. Because if you're gonna involve her husband into it, it should come from the husband too. And I get it. But my wife is like, nah, I need hard facts. I watch documentaries, but that's about it. But Candy also does, Candy actually kind of supports my point, is the fact of like, remember what I said, name one of those documentaries. Name one of those documentaries. So biopics I still think are useful. I would have never known about Michael Orr as if it wasn't for this fucking movie. But I think that this movie makes me feel a special way because of the fact that in the movie, they admitted to their guilt technically. Because I remember the NCAA was investigating Michael Orr in the film because they felt like the family was boosters. So they were grooming this child to pick this school. So the shit
more or less based off of the conservatorship as opposed to adoption,
yes,
is kind of what happened.
Yes. So they didn't put that in the film that it was conservatorship. They say adoption.
Right. That's my son.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that is a different relationship. And
yes.
Sandra Bullock did a good job saying this is another one of my kids.
Correct.
And that's what a good mother will do.
Yes.
But there are people who will bring you, you'll be right next to them, and they'll be talking to you like you one of the kids, but you don't have them same bennies.
Yes.
And when things show up, the people who will treat you like one of them kids, no, you here, you along with the ride. If we drown and you in the boat, hop in.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people who are like, well, I got my kids in. Well, what you got for you? And they just stop and stare at you for a while.
Yeah.
I did not think this day when I woke up that I would have given George Bush any type of praise or the NCAA. That is a weird, that is not how I expected this day to, or the FBI. Yeah, I think that's how my week would go.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, I'm cheering the FBI for doing their job. I'm cheering the NCAA because they were actually aware, like, hey, this is kind of a shady situation. And I was giving George Bush credit. My granddad hated George Bush, and he died in 2007. He thought George Bush was the literal devil. He is probably confused somewhere in the great beyond. Like, why are you giving this man praise? But we've seen worse. We've seen worse.
Oh God,
we've seen worse by
so surprisingly, speaking of that, being surprised by some shit, and not thinking that I'll be doing some shit. JT has introduced our movie this week from 1955.
Yeah,
which is very.
So question.
Go ahead.
How old is for each of y'all? How old is your oldest living grandparent?
I have no living. Well, I'm
my grandmothers are 85. 1 second.
Something like that. I don't know how old Chef is. I don't fuck with Chef. Okay. So I don't fuck with Chef. So therapy? I don't. Nah, nigga, I don't need no therapy. That dude just him. That's him. I let him be him, and I
1955.
appreciate the fact that he met my grandmother that special night and had a twinkle in her eye and decided to marry her for about 2 weeks, and then decided to go off and do chef shit. So with that, I appreciate that.
The reason why I was asking was to put this into context. I thought about this. My grandma is going to be 90 this year. She was 22 when this movie came out.
Oh God!
I just had to think about it. She was a 22-year-old
I wonder
person.
if she saw it. I wonder if she saw the movie in the theater.
Correct. And then also,
Probably.
is Wakea coming? By the way, JT.
Listen, so last week we were talking about how history done brought his wife's vote with his wife's rating of the movie.
Correct.
And I said I didn't do that. So this week I brought my wife so she can give her own rating.
Correct.
A whole human.
A whole.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
A whole
So,
extra
you know,
human. So
this is Wakea for those of
Yes.
you. Is my
Yes.
sweetie poo.
Hi, Wakea.
And
go ahead and give her a
welcome.
round of applause.
Give it a round of applause.
Welcome.
Avid listener, avid watcher. Obviously, why? But yes,
all up in the comments and
Keeps
stuff.
that comment section going.
yes.
Court Jester been one of our movies, y'all. So we watched it. We ran through this one a couple of times.
We ran through this a couple times.
We ran through this. Just ran all the
Wakea,
way through the movie.
Wakea, blank
several times in
blank.
front of many people.
Hey, blank twice. Blank twice if you need some type of like escape from this. this movie, bro. This movie. So we
moving songs. Okay.
so we came together and watched the 1955 Court Jester movie. Jamel, this is your spot, buddy. Take the lead on this shit.
Yeah, The Court Jester from 1955. It stars Danny Kaye and a young Angela Lansbury. I only know her from Murder, She Wrote when she was a little old lady solving a high amount of murders in this one city, which is unusual. Like, that is a lot of murder that this woman was solving, winning Emmy Awards and breaking ratings and doing her thing. The movie is a musical. It's got some historical elements to it. It's got some comedic elements to it. And I'm going to be honest with you. First 15 minutes of the movie, I was not that interested in. First 15, 20 minutes of the movie, it was a little bit to get through. But I'm going to be honest. The movie won me over as we progressed, and I ended up getting some enjoyment out of it.
To begin with, Doug, well, that's the first question.
Because it was slow. The first 15 minutes were slow, and I didn't like the opening bits in the fours.
A different theory here. The first 15 minutes didn't have nobody that looked like us. So
yeah, and then
the first 15 minutes,
in the last, the entirety of it.
Yes, indeed, that is a true statement.
The first 15 minutes?
It was the entirety of the 101 minutes.
First hour and 45 minutes. The first hour and 45 minutes didn't have nobody that looked like us.
Didn't have no black people. But yes, the first 15 minutes too, especially. And I think one of the things, it's like when you go someplace new, and you go, like when we were in that bar in Vegas right down the street, that taco bar, and you go in there and you look around for other black people, and you're like, all right, there's a couple more in here, I'll be okay. You can't do that with this movie. So I think this movie might subconsciously set you on edge because you realize how mayonnaise the situation is.
Okay.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
It's complete. It is total. It is eggshell.
It's almost overwhelming.
And that also goes into the mob, which we will talk about later.
At some point. But yeah. JT, you have mentioned in the group chat, you mentioned about the actor by the name of Danny Kaye. And in fact, this is a pick for one of the picks that you made for this month. Tell us a little bit about Danny Kaye. Educate myself in history on Danny Kaye, the actor, because I will give him credit in the stuff that I saw in this movie. He seems to be he was one of those triple threat type of people. actor. He could act, he could sing a little bit, and he could dance a little bit as well. And he had some good comedic timing. So please educate us on Danny Kaye.
Well, you just did, brother. You said it, man. He had like a quadruple threat. He's hilarious. He can sing, he can dance, he can act, and he is actually funny. Danny Kaye single-handedly carries this movie. You got to understand, Danny Kaye was like a proper-sized white Kevin Hart of his time.
Okay.
This dude was in a movie with Bing Crosby called White Christmas, which you may recall, because we watched it already.
Yeah.
And he was, of course, the funniest part of that movie, too. Right?
Squeaky. This chair's real squeaky.
All right,
But
well, don't move it.
Yes.
Like that. So this is one of them dudes that pretty much anything that you put in, he's going to give it that razzle dazzle. He's going to give it that John Candy magic, that X factor. But he's going to be real goofy when he does it. But at the same time, he's such a good actor. He's giving you wild facial expressions and stuff. And this stuff was real groundbreaking back then if you didn't have any black friends or family, because you probably never saw expressions like these because everybody was always trying to save face.
All right, so Wakia, could you tell us about your first experience with this movie? I've got a feeling JT's seen this one a lot, but you're our guest. I want you to give first dibs on this movie and about.
Yeah, you can talk about the movie.
Yeah, you're the guest. We gotta. You're the guest and you're a lady, so we're gonna let the ladies go first, please. Let's dive into the plot of the movie.
Oh, you want to talk about the ladies?
The wenches.
Wenches.
The wenches.
We got wenches, y'all. We got wenches on the show.
Wench.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just love how the captain, every time they talk about her, she's a wench. That's wonderful.
She's such a capable warrior.
She's so badass.
Reduced to a mere wench.
She was no shoes at all either.
I'm pretty sure the very first
shoes. Yes, no shoes.
Was with JT because I never watched it before then.
Just Timberlake.
No, you, sir. And
you got to say the whole thing.
What?
It's JT the voice.
Oh, JT the voice.
Well, yeah,
okay.
I'm just Jonathan. All right. Whatever you want to call me.
All right. Well then, hello. The first time I watched it was Sir JT the voice, and
I like a child called Quest.
It took 3 years.
I'm just gonna say
like it's a name Slickback. You gotta say the whole thing.
Just tell me the singing and the dancing and the costumes and the hilarity, and it's not it. I just fell in love with it the moment I first watched it because I'm really big into musicals anyways. It does not pass me that there was nobody who looked like me in it, but I live in West Michigan and
it's home.
Hard knock life for us.
Oh my God!
All right, so
no. But no, I was really able to enjoy it all the way through. Especially what was it, the hog? Tiny piglet.
The knighting train.
Oh shit! The night test.
Night test.
You guys fall asleep during
that is ridiculous.
No, I did not fall asleep to it, bro, at all.
Hold on.
I
For
was
those
up.
of you who haven't watched our 1955 classic, The Court Jester, starring Danny Kaye. This movie opens up with Danny Kaye dressed like a jester, and he's like choreographying the credits. And the funny thing is, Basil Rathbone, who it plays the main antagonist Ravenhurst, his name keeps popping up. So like keep fighting it off with his choreography. So this is already some clever shit to begin with. But then the first way that the movie starts off telling you how the king usurped the throne and is a bastard, and then we meet Danny Kaye dressed up in the Robin Hood of their day's clothes, doing choreography with little people. Can't make this stuff
there
up.
were so many.
What happens in this
that
movie?
may be the most that's the most amount of little people I've seen in a movie outside of
Wizard of Oz.
In fucking the Willy Wonka movies. That there was so
one dude.
that part was actually impressive. The choreography
The same
was
crew. They might
impressive.
have had a union
It did feel good, and it felt good that they were also using them in a positive way.
because they were very capable fighters too.
They were
Go
good.
ahead, put the
They were
dwarf on
good.
your character sheet for that
Positivity.
D&D game, y'all. It's a legit class.
History, you got some contention with this movie.
What is that
Clearly.
based
So
on?
history, jump on in the conversation about the court jester. What do you think are of our protagonist, our hero, Hubert Hawkins, aka the court jester? What do you think, history?
Bruh, the whole time I could only think he was one of those people back in the time. I am a thespian. I am an actor. He's definitely. I am an actor.
I'm an artiste.
I am an artist. Bro, this is look like it was the most serious fucking acting for a comedy I have ever seen in my life. It is so fucking hard to watch this as a person who's like, bruh, you know, I just watched the movie with T.I. That nigga don't look like he.
He don't look like what? You didn't.
He don't look like he's taking himself that serious. T.I. was like, let me talk to you for a second. Ask me this.
I mean, well, Danny Kaye has to take
he's-
himself seriously.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, you know? like T.I., who's part of the SAG himself, as well as this guy Danny Kaye is not taking himself this seriously in the film when he was supposed to be a comedian as well. So I was watching this film, bro, and I was like, man, this movie would not survive in 2023. It would.
Yes, it would, dog.
It would not survive in 2023.
And add some color, add a couple gags.
It would
and I tell you
not.
what, you're most
It
of the
would
way
not.
there.
The one scene alone where Hawkins was with the captain, bruh, and they were falling in love apparently in the farm, and he was so busy not like listening to her. He was just kissing all over her, and she was like using her brain. I was like, bruh, that is like definitely saying this woman don't know a damn thing she's talking about. She's only good for this moment right here. Just give that. Yes. Why do they not have? Why don't they use the person that they already have as the source to get the key? I thought that was they had moments like that. I will say that he asked the questions that I was thinking a couple times. I was like, wait, you already got on somebody. Yeah, you got somebody already on the inside. So why do you need another person?
Get the key for us.
Well, I need me.
Yeah. So I will say that was the.
I'm gonna get shot for this.
Yeah, but Candy say T.I. is one of the greatest actors of all time.
That is a
time out. What, Candy? What the fuck?
You want to know?
Tip Harris. Okay, let's get back on track because I do think.
What are you doing?
Because I do think credit needs to be given to the captain, to Jean.
Yeah, she does.
What's her name? Glennis Johns. First off, and this is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Angela Lansbury and Glenn Johns, very attractive women for that day. Like even for that day, they're pretty women. I did not think I'd be like, oh, this little tiny old ass lady in Murder She Wrote.
Right.
Not a bad looking woman back in the day. That threw me off. That was one of those things that threw me off. I'm like, damn.
That's for you, sir.
You know what?
That's for you.
That was for me.
You know
what? Anyway,
you know what? Round of applause. Jamel got that one.
Round of applause. We're being an asshole.
I did not look at her the whole time as that. I was like, bruh, I can't unsee this woman as her face was melting as she was solving mysteries. You know, like she was fucking Nancy Drew, just not supernatural stuff. I can't unsee this woman. Drew. Bruh, I just could not.
I was able to power through.
Oh, man.
I can power through and see. It threw me off for a minute, but I was able to power through.
You know what?
I was able to power through.
This.
No.
We can work with this.
Those dance scenes.
When did Angela Lansbury?
Yes. Let's give that give credit to some of the.
She was in the mob, right?
Huh?
Everybody was.
Everybody was.
You see what I'm saying? More on that later.
At some point. At some point, we'll talk about the mob in movies. At some point, not tonight, probably, but at some point. So, let's talk about a little bit about the plot because it is basically
Pimpin'.
It's a little bit of
Yeah, Purple
King
Pimp.
Arthur, a little bit of Robin Hood, and
Cut somebody off.
it's a little bit of a mashup of them classic stories. And it has, of course, the tongue twister, the pellet with the poisons, and the vessel with the pestle. The chalice from the palace has the brew that is true.
Hold on, no. They broke the chalice from the palace.
No, so it
The
became
pellet
Now
with
it's
the
the
poison,
flagon with the dragon.
the dragon. The vessel from the
Yes.
pestle
Yeah, the vessel
This
from the
brew that is true.
has the pellet with the poison.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, that's the second one. Yeah. uh-huh.
No,
No,
the chalice from the
but the flagon
palace.
with the flagon with the dragon has the pellet, the poison, the pellet that's poison, and
Pellet with
the pestle with the vessel
flagon
has
with
the
the
brew
dragon
that's
has
true.
the pellet with the poison, and
All
the
right,
vessel
hold on,
with
hold
the
on.
pestle is the
You
brew that is
Single.
true.
Wait, I know. I'm
Wait,
not
but
being
what happened to the
premature.
chalice from the palace?
they
The chalice
broke
from the palace.
chalice
That is from the palace. Yeah.
Wait,
They
but
broke the-
okay,
they-
so the chalice from the palace no longer has the brew that was true, but the pestle from the vessel, it's now the brew, the puzzle. So wait,
No,
the flagon
no.
with the dragon.
The pellet with the poisons and the flagon with the dragon. The chalice from the palace got broke. Right?
So the pestle with the poison is now the flagon with the dragon.
The vessel
and
with the poison. Now the vessel with the
The
poison
vessel with the poison.
is in the chalice from the palace.
No.
I thought it was the pellet with the poison.
Duh. You know what?
That was
You
in
know
the-
what?
the-
I will use my resources and I'm gonna just look this fucking shit up, bro.
No. You better remember this right. I
That's
guess
what I'm
This
saying.
is actually how it goes in the movie.
With the purple pimp.
it's. But now you see how practical that scene actually is.
Uh,
Trying to remember that stuff. You going into Mortal Kombat? Okay. The flagon with the dragon.
Oh my gosh.
the flagon with the dragon.
The vessel from the pestle.
Oh man, let me look up Pluto
True.
TV. Where you at, Pluto TV? Oh my god.
The pellet with the poison is in the chalice from the palace. The vessel with the pestle has the brew. That is
Yo,
true.
I'm
The pellet with the
trying.
poison, they broke the chalice from the palace. The
Yeah.
vessel with the poison is the flagon with the dragon.
Nah, dog.
That's with the pestle.
Nah, bro.
That's true.
The vessel
Yo,
Okay,
I
we
think
got it. Okay,
I want to say this. I think that maybe that's what makes this movie funny. Is not the fact that I didn't feel like the movie was funny,
I'm
but I
sorry,
think that
Doug.
the fact that we talking about it right now, after the fact and applied it to real life,
And
that's
it
the part that's funny. Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah.
the wordplay in the movie is something that I respect a lot.
top-notch.
That is the
It is.
that's the chronic of their day, y'all.
Yeah, that's what
that
that
level
was.
wordplay.
It makes me giggle.
Get it?
Like, makes my soul giggle.
Mhm. Yeah, they
Get it? Uh-huh.
He ain't about it.
I got you. Wait, he froze. He's gone.
No, he didn't. No, Jamel just died a little inside.
He
That's
just-
all.
Oh god.
He just looks at that. That's
Jamel,
just
come back.
constant.
Somebody text Jamel, come back in the chat so he knows he's gone.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
He
Look at him.
blinked right now.
We not even gonna talk about the fact that like Candy just said that he will smash. She would smoke. Back in the day, they're talking about Angela. He would smash.
She's a vixen. Okay.
Dog,
I like
stop.
I like Glennis
Bro,
John's.
that you can have your folks.
What is she in? What did we say? Angela
Glennis Johns
Lansbury
is the mom in Mary Poppins.
There we go.
Yeah. Bro, the idea that this movie is so old, only 2 cast members are still alive. Only 2 cast members.
Angela Lansbury just died last year too.
Just
Like
last year,
November.
yeah. That's a different thing.
She was always great. Angela Lansbury is fabulous. But Basil Rathbone actually played Sherlock Holmes. So
She did?
our antagonist, Basil Rathbone, played Sherlock Holmes
Okay.
in many movies.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Dog, for real. They had some heavy hitters in this film. This is an A-list cast for the day.
We have to
A-list?
Why
talk about
are
that.
you sighing like you know other 50s celebrities?
I don't know other 50 celebrities. I just know that
You
I did
have to
not.
understand a little bit of your cinematography history.
No,
No, we haven't even
I'm
done-
glad for that. I just did not
There it is.
enjoy this movie as much as I needed to, I guess.
as much. So when they were doing the knighting ceremony,
No,
how
I
did
felt
you
like it
feel
was.
about the cinematography they used there?
I felt like the choreography was great. The cinematography.
So good.
The choreography and the cinematography in the movie were things that I appreciated because I'm so used to a lot of modern movies and the over CGI shit that we get. It was
Correct.
nice seeing like practical sets and like actual sets and actual horses and shit. So that I have full respect for in the
Yes.
movie. Like I appreciated that. It's like, oh, somebody built that. Somebody probably got injured on the job doing that. I respect it. And so
Yes.
that the knighting ceremony and the coordination of the knights when they're marching, that was pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
I gotta admit, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. I would say that I actually
But-
did like the
I don't think
actual
they could
choreography.
use the no animals were harmed on the making of this movie at the end of it, though. I'm pretty sure that was pre. I'm pretty sure they couldn't put that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
Fuck animals.
like,
That's how they was. It was 1955.
The
Niggas
animals-
barely had rights back then. So of course
Yeah.
animals didn't have rights.
Yeah, they shot up all the animals in that time, bro. They
They were cruel to animals for no
Well,
reason, probably.
Actually,
animals in that
actually,
movie.
so quick question. At the very end of the movie, they were shooting out the actual catapulting the knights into the
Everybody.
fucking ocean. They all these little people were fucking just kicking them up, using their acrobatic
like-
to put them in the
It was
catapult.
it was like fucking Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks. Like y'all got faded by a whole bunch of these little people. Just got y'all
Yes.
asses whooped
Yes.
by storm. I was about to say the word that you really ain't supposed to say.
Yeah, by some little people, dog. It was
Yeah,
fucking,
that-
bro. That was such a strange fucking feeling. And then they would catapult, they were catapulting these people, and so they would start off as a live person,
Then switch over to the dummies.
and then switch over to the dummy.
Stiff ass dummies.
Question, y'all. As a resident African, can I call them halflings?
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
See, here's the thing. I don't think we can say that. I think we got to use the proper
We can't
terminology.
use the
little
H
people.
word around.
No, we can use little people, right?
You can't use it.
Little people is
Peter was
Appropriate
bred.
pronouns. Okay. We're not here to disrespect.
A bunch of people that was half as big as other people was in this movie, and they were awesome.
yeah.
Yes,
That's a good way to say it.
yes.
They were so necessary. So imagine if they
Besides that-
redid this film today, who would they use instead of little people? More little
They
people.
probably
Or would they
superimpose like actual celebrities' faces on
Which is actually
smaller people.
yeah, which
Or
actually
CGI
that's
shit.
a thing that's actually right now.
Yeah, if they did it again today, I would really hope that they would employ a ton of little people. I would.
What if they were
really, really
children?
hope.
What if they were kids?
No.
That's the thing, because like
Child labor laws.
Yep.
child labor laws, yeah. So that's the thing about like this is the fact that like kind of Jamel is right. I think that they were superimposed because that's what they did. That's what they're gonna do with the new Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. They actually gonna just make normal sized people inside of the fucking film. They're not even gonna really use.
You mean to tell me you can't find
And
7
everything
little people who are actual professional actors?
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty
that's-
stupid.
Peter Dinklage is taking up all them roles, so it's just
Yeah.
like
Well, he's not doing this
he's the
one.
king
Yeah.
of little.
Hold up.
He's not the
Hold up.
only
I would
one.
want to watch him do all of them roles too, though. Can he be Doc and Happy and Sneezy? I might mess around to watch that film. But that's only
Fully
'cause he-
Jonathan
we need
Majors
Tony
his
Cox
ass.
in one of them.
like Deep Throat did
We-
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Full Jonathan
He was all of
Majors,
the Oompa
Kang
Loompa.
the Conqueror, this motherfucker with the
Right.
girl.
Nah,
Right.
it needs to be
So
Peter
Eddie
Dinklage
Murphy
and
it
Tony
up.
Cox. Those two people
nutty.
need to be in it because
Fair
we need a
enough.
black person to represent.
Fair
So I
enough.
say Peter Dinklage takes
What about
half,
Beetlejuice?
and then Tony Cox takes the other half.
What about Beetlejuice?
Nah, we're done with Beetlejuice.
Why not
Seafarer
Beetlejuice? I would love for Beetlejuice to be in that movie, bro. There's a fucking, isn't it Doofy or whatever like that? That's the name, right? You couldn't have Beetlejuice be Doofy, right? Dopey, yeah.
I said
There
the
you
correct
go.
name twice.
Bro, I didn't grow up.
Doofy. Nigga, this is scary. Is this a scary movie?
Snow White and the Seven
I
Dwarfs.
have a white
What the
phone.
hell?
Doofy,
And I grew up in a household where a father did not believe that princess movies is where it's at, homie. You better respect me when it comes to that.
Disney vaulted.
You also have a computer in front of you, and you can Google this stuff
That's all
too.
right. You got time.
Bro, this is an improv conversation, dog. I am not coming prepared for a conversation about little
Yeah, bring it
people
back.
in a
I'm
fucking
sorry.
podcast.
Then go watch Disney's House of Mouse, dog, because people show up in there too.
That is a vaulted film, right? You can't watch Snow White.
No, it came on ABC's one Saturday morning. No, it's not. It's a syndicated child's television show. You can watch terrible resolution bootlegs of on YouTube.
I'm not going out my way to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, dog.
I actually don't think
I'm not going out my way for that.
That irks me.
I'm not.
House of Mouse, I don't think it's on Disney Plus.
No.
Yeah.
It aired on ABC and they have some different.
It's a vaulted movie, bro. You can't watch Snow White.
You can't just go out.
I'm willing to bet.
Watch Snow White.
Yeah, you can't watch Snow White. It's vaulted.
I mean, we can try. Hold on.
I don't think that's how Disney Plus works, my nig.
What the fuck? That's exactly how it works.
Wait, let's settle this debate right now. I'm pulling up Disney Plus.
Real easy.
I kind of need to see this. Now I want to know. I haven't thought about fucking Snow White in years.
Dumbest sounding thing I've ever heard. It's in the vault. Yeah, it's in the vault, bitch. So you pay for this membership. We got you now. Come here and get this subscription. Now you get access to everything we got.
I'm telling you right now, bro. I'm about to look at it. I'm about to look at it for myself right now. But,
everybody looking it up.
But yeah.
We're all doing.
That don't make a lick of sense.
Snow White is in the vault.
$20 on Disney Plus.
Yes, sir.
$20 on Disney Plus, dog. Run that. You are so
that
wrong.
That could be very fair. That would be fair.
DVDs
that don't mean that Disney gonna do it.
Bro, get out of the past, my nig.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is on Disney Plus. It is on Disney Plus.
I am not going to go out my way to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Hey, that was a blockbuster film.
I am not going to go out of my way to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
That's before niggas had rights too.
I am not going to go out of my way to watch that film.
Wakia probably couldn't even vote back then.
I probably watched that film like maybe once or twice when I was a kid. You know what? I'm gonna do? I've been trying to binge watch TV shows. One of the shows I gotta finish is Once Upon a Time. And I know the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is in that one. So there you go. I got you. Took care of you. Took care of you. There you go. But with that, man.
So anyway.
Go ahead. Yeah, go. What's the next thing about this film?
So back to the movie. Some of the ending fight between Hawkins and fucking Ravenhurst, Sir Ravenhurst, Ravenclaw, House of Ravenclaw. That was before we get to that, the witch, the Griselda. That name Griselda, I now associate with like rappers now because Griselda has some shit to do with rappers. I'm not familiar with them, but Griselda the witch.
You're not familiar? Why do you?
What y'all think? There's some shit called Griselda with rappers. I've heard that name before. That's associated some rappers, I think out of Buffalo or one of them places. But anyway, Griselda the Witch, Maid Jane, and Gwendolyn, the three primary women that we see in this movie. Wakia, I want your opinion on the female characters in this movie. We never have an actual woman. I shouldn't even say actual. That's probably wrong the way that I phrased that. But I want a woman. What did you think of
I'm about to say, bro, we had a woman on this episode like in June.
Again,
I apologize.
For the time specifically that it would have been a big deal for women to be in the roles that they were in. For instance, the captain, I thought that was a big deal. That's what I have right now. But it was difficult. It's not like I can relate to them in the 50s.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked the women, and I think when I first watched it, I really liked the fact that this was one of the first movies from that time where I saw women in a leadership role or a role of any type of influence. So I thought that was good, and props to him for that, because Danny Kaye movies, they kind of did that a little bit. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
JT, history. What about y'all as non-women? What did y'all think of the female characters?
I'm gonna let you go,
wenches,
JT.
mean?
I'm gonna let you go, JT.
That was it. It was just that reaction, dog.
Wench.
The wenches.
History. Any thoughts on the lady characters in this
Which one?
movie?
I don't know, man. I felt like the captain. What's her real name? In this one, Captain. I kept missing her name.
Johns.
Huh?
Glynis Johns.
Yeah, Glynis Johns. I feel like they did really well for what they had for those roles themselves. I still felt like obviously they still kind of held on to the times a little bit. So like I said, again, you had the over kissing and kind of like the over pressing of the women's characters. And so like the king, I love the fact that they had that switch up where she was like talking about how she had inherited like the scourge or something like that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that
it's probably not deadly.
To turn him off of her.
Breckenridge's scourge or some shit.
Yeah.
Breckenridge's scourge.
So I did not dig the fact that like even on the captain, even though like Hawkins was supposed to be her love interest, like he was like pressing up like fucking hard, dog, on her hard every single time.
Things that as a woman that always happens in movies, and it's gonna happen in that era especially.
Correct.
So watching it is just I see it very clearly, but I've always seen it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a woman.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
Gomez Adams, like kind of a less charming Gomez Adams. Because if you've ever seen the Addams Family, Gomez would always be giving the kiss all the way up Morticia's arm, just cara mia. And then, but he was romantic about it.
But she liked it though. What to say?
Gomez was cool. Gomez had game.
She loved the doting. But like the fact of like in the middle of a conversation where she's doing like her plans, he's like, no, fuck you, whatever you thought about. It just like was kissing, trying to get up on her. And then like I said again, the king was doing the same thing to the captain and everything like that. So like it felt forced upon. But like I said, I feel like this movie hits different because just like how y'all flinch when I said the F word about from the LGBTQ, like y'all kind of was like that was that pause.
Yeah, we've been trained.
So,
but I'm still from the 90s, so like I'm not gonna turn off. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna turn off, but I ain't gonna say it.
We are gonna pause.
Oh no, pause. Man! I feel like though. Yeah, I'm about to say that's a fucking lie though. If we don't admit that shit, so I don't mind the fact that because that was part of the time. It just doesn't change the fact that I'm watching this movie almost 100 years later.
100.
Well, you mean
come on, do some math.
All right.
We kind of forgot what the movie was
70
about.
years later.
It's about this child who is supposed to take over, who is supposed to be the heir to the throne. He's supposed to be the real king, right?
Yeah.
And there's a guy on the throne who usurped him. But the only
by killing his whole family, mind you.
The only reason we know that this child is part of the family is because he has a birthmark, very specific
on his ass.
Yeah.
What is it called?
The purple pimpernel.
The purple pimpernel.
Yeah.
So I just would like to talk about the discomfort I have with the way they consistently showing that baby's butt. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I said even the movie acknowledged that this was an uncomfortable thing because of the fact that he.
I did appreciate the fact that Danny Kane kind of had this weird, awkward face every time he did it. Like, I know we have to show it, but
yeah.
In order for them to bow to and accept that this child was of its special lineage.
Yeah, here to go.
They had to show this really weird birthmark on his butt.
Baby's ass.
Everybody had to look at it, and then they bowed down to this baby's butt all through the movie. Every
Your
time.
Majesty.
So, out of all the other things that happened, out of every other thing
but it's handled well, though. It was handled well by the film. Danny Kaye was hilariously uncomfortable doing this, and rightfully so. And I thought they brought the proper amount of perspective to it, even for their little 1955.
Yeah, because he kept emphasizing.
I hope that kid turned out well. I really hope that kid turned out well and didn't get like messed up.
To the kid.
and isn't embarrassed
Messed up.
by having
You saw my back and a butt cheek.
Yeah.
you saw my ass as a
Hardly
baby.
exploitation. Your baby.
But he
Well,
got
didn't that happen
I
to
didn't
Red Hot Chili
consent.
Peppers?
and the
Didn't that happen to Red Hot
As a
Chili Peppers?
baby,
They
I
got
didn't
sued by the
consent.
baby. That happened to Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? They got sued by the baby from the album cover.
Ravenhurst. I'm sorry.
I did not hear that. No, go right ahead. We were interrupting you. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that he became, the baby after showing his booty off to the entire court, got crowned, and then I misremembered that it wasn't the king who got catapulted, but it was Ravenhurst, the other dude who
Ravenhurst, yeah.
got catapulted right at the end.
Yeah.
But he gave
How
it
about
up.
how about them dummies they threw in that water though, yo?
That was hilarious.
Everybody and made a goddamn conga line of feet to throw everybody into the drink and drown them in their heavy chain male armor
Bro.
feet. No
Yeah,
way
they-
any of them
they-
dudes swimming back.
They probably couldn't swim. Like swimming probably wasn't that high a priority back then. So it was just like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Shark food.
So
There was a point that I was going to make, but I lost my train of thought. So I just want to give a quick shout out to the original Yakumo in the movie. He is John Carradine. If that name sounds familiar, he's the father, patriarch of the Carradine family. David Carradine is, of course, probably the most famous member of that family, aka Bill from the Kill Bill series. So shout out to Mr. Carradine and shout out to David Carradine, R.I.P. History, you were about to say something.
So I want to clarify something. I said Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was actually Nirvana. Nirvana album Nevermind had a naked baby in the actual pool. That kid grew up later. His name is Spencer Eldine, and he actually was trying to actually sue them for it, and it keeps getting dismissed, the actual case itself. But yeah, because they had that kid butt ass naked on the album cover. And so, yeah, we don't care about horses, animals, black folks on films, and babies. We don't give a
On
fuck.
the one hand, I'm kind of like, dog, why are you mad?
Yeah.
Why? Because my dick looks small on the cover. Why are you mad? Did you get paid for it? You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, he didn't get no royalties for that because that's his parents, but that just let him just do that fucking film.
I mean, if the parents are like, hey, we got a baby, well, that's their kid. They own him. You know what I'm saying? So
that's weird. That's what I say. That's fucking weird.
Point of phrase.
God damn, JT.
True, dog. That's the difference between
No, that's not how that works, JT. We don't support that.
That's the difference between that and the conservatorship, dog. Yes.
No, that's not how that works. Dog.
I own my
that
children.
works the way that works.
That was why he wanted to sue. That's what I'm saying.
It's a baby, guys. It's a
No.
baby.
Right. So what's he mad about? I was on the cover against my wishes. Did you have a good time in the pool, little dude? And shut up.
You know what you sound like? You sound like Dave Chappelle. You sound like Dave Chappelle.
Yes, because I got some sense. And I understand when you're a baby, you ain't got no rights.
Did you get molested by Michael Jackson, though?
Society and your family.
Not everybody molesting people out there is Michael Jackson. That's
Whoa.
what you sound like, nigga. Stone. It's that good.
That came out of nowhere. So anyway, back to the movie.
Dave Chappelle said that.
Your comparisons be like boiling pot of grits versus overnight cream of wheat.
Okay, but back it up.
Yes, go ahead.
You, me, Jamel, we ain't got kids, right? So I guess we can't really speak on this.
Yeah, I don't own.
Now, hold up. If you got kids and they do something cute and they become a national sensation, and the kid tries to sue you because they didn't get no royalties for being 20 million on TikTok or whatever.
It's not even the fact that I say that he's suing because of the fact that he did not want to be exploited like that. That was apparently that's the thing.
Like,
because he was a naked baby. He was a baby thrown into a pool.
Yeah, they don't. That's
for
not
a picture.
supposed to be out there on the media at all.
No, it's a baby. It was an album cover.
Okay. I just see. Here's the thing: like babies aren't sexual beings, and if
But
they are, you need
make
mental
them
help.
sexual beings.
So they
though.
just a baby naked out there is just a baby to me, dog. You see what I'm saying?
That's
like
to
it don't
you,
register
dog.
nothing else. You're a child. I was exploited. Anybody beating off to that is going to hell. So what's the problem, kid? You was on a badass album cover. You know what I'm saying? I said what the fuck I said.
I
Y'all see that's the difference between me and you. I'm willing to talk about this shit. I talk about this hill. You're a baby. You ain't got no say in nothing.
You go sit next to him, Jabel.
See, that's
JT,
how you know Jason ain't never
owning the
been
human.
his kids though.
I got kids. Nigga, what you
And
talking
how much
about?
money you making off them besides them tax breaks, dog? That's what
Jason
I'm
hasn't
saying.
exploited his children.
My
I will
kids
say
are not
this.
gonna be
I'll
exploited for a fucking album cover, dog.
I'll
If
say
you
this
got some kids on
before
the
we
album
get
cover.
back on track.
Go ahead.
Bring
Jabel.
it back on track. Bring it back around.
Yeah.
In comparison to some of the wild shit that these parents on YouTube, these family vloggers, the way that they use their kids, that's exploitation. Where you have these people
like
literally
putting them under
have kids
conservatorship.
to that shit. That's exploiting your kids.
Probably.
Not necessarily the whole album cover thing. That's just you might just have to like let it go. You're on the album cover and move on. But speaking of album
Great
covers,
line. You should see
speaking
my
of
dick now.
transitions back into the movies.
Oh God. Fuck. Bro,
let's
move
get-
on to the movie now. Definitely move on to the movie.
We gotta okay.
Where?
This is going
Gotta
into a
own it.
wild
Just
place
own
that I
the
was not
shit,
expecting.
dog. Just own it.
I was not expecting that. So let's get into let's wrap up the movie review.
Okay.
Overall, folks, let's start getting our ratings. Let's get into some details before we get into that. In 2000, this movie was not a financial hit, and it was made on a budget of $4 million, made $2.2 million. However, because time is beautiful, it's grown and it's gotten a status as a classic movie. And while I don't put much stock into Rotten Tomatoes, it does have a very high score on Rotten Tomatoes.
What is that?
In 2004, it was included in a selection of movies to be added to the Library of Congress for being historically, culturally, and aesthetically significant. So kudos to the movie and to the quality of the movie as deemed by Congress. Sad news with how Danny Kaye went out. He continued his career for a number of years. But unfortunately, the way that he died is quite sad. He had a quadruple bypass surgery, and he actually contracted hepatitis C from a blood transfusion. And he ended up dying in 1987 at the age of 76 due to complications from the hepatitis. So, RIP. That is a fucked up way to go. Blood transfusions, not the safest, especially back then. That's kind of how the guy from Predator went out. But rest in peace to Danny Kaye. Angela Lansbury, she lived for a long ass time as well. She was old as hell by the time she was old as hell in the 80s. And she lived all the way until 2020. God damn, she died last year. She died almost at the age of she was old as shit when we were kids.
Yeah.
She died 9 months ago. So rest in peace to her. Glennis Johns, she lived a long ass time. She didn't live a long ass time. She's still alive. She's about to be 100 in October. Unless she takes the
Betty Walk of Fame, the Betty White Walk of Fame. Unless she does that.
That's fucked up. Basil John, he lived to be 75. This nigga was born in 1892. So that's before everything was invented. So he lived to be age 75.
Babies was invented. 1967. I'm just saying.
Cecil Parker, the dad figure. That is weird. He was younger than Basil. So Basil was actually older than the king. That nigga died at the age of 73 in 1971. So they all lived relatively long ages. Yeah.
So
but anyway,
I want to go back to one of the characters that you brought up earlier, Griselda.
Go right ahead,
Griselda was the court witch who was whispering all these the feminist ideals of love and marrying for it in the queen or the princess's ear, Angela Lansbury. Mm-hmm. She ends up hypnotizing Danny Kaye's character, Hawkins, and telling him that you need to go seduce the princess because Angela Lansbury was like, bitch, if that's not my true love, I'm killing you. Angela Lansbury is out cold in this film. She is a straight up gangster. She is a princess.
Like a right of murder.
Killed for it, and she is prepared to do the same thing for her love.
She kept saying that too. If he dies, you die.
But what happened was with the spell was caused and broke it with a snap. And when you snap again, he go back into the spell. So everybody is snapping throughout this whole movie, snapping him in and out of these different characters. And this shit is hilarious. It is pulled off well. So he goes over to seduce the princess, swings around a vine on the outside of the castle, hop up in the room and stuff, start kissing all around it like I can't do because Marion the wrong way in these chairs. But man, and then they start snapping. And then, what am I doing here? Snap again, back into it. And there's some quality character work from Danny Kaye. You got to acknowledge the great physical acting from these scenes was on point. And if
this movie was made in the 1980s, Bruce Campbell would have killed it as in that role.
Yeah,
like Bruce Campbell.
I did do that.
Physical comedy, he would have matched it.
I did.
Bruce Campbell could have did.
What?
No, I was gonna say Bruce Campbell. Like that kind of reminded me of Bruce Campbell, the way that Danny was in this movie. It's like, oh, Bruce Campbell could have did this movie if it was made.
Correct.
But shout out to him.
So I did write that down as a note. I did write that down as a note that I would have preferred a dark modern version of this one. But if I was to go stick with the actual theme that it was the way that this movie is right now.
It's like a dark modern version is it.
Of that movie? Damn, bro. At least, yeah. So Hawkins. So I said that I would love to see Hawkins be either Andrew Schultz, Keegan-Michael Key, or Justin Long. One of those three people. I'm leaning towards Justin Long because of how awkward he is. For the character Gwendolyn,
Mac guy.
Yeah.
I like Keegan-Michael Key in anything though, and
Keegan-Michael Key would have been really good for the singing part.
I don't want to see him in this.
What was that show that we watched him in when he went into like the La La Land type of place? Keegan-Michael Key? No.
Michael Cera also probably could have done.
Every time they
could have been.
See, I think Michael Cera.
I don't think Michael Cera is that great of an actor without being a pencil neck dweeb the whole time.
I'm so sorry. He was
I
amazing
tell you
as
what,
Alan.
No, but here's the thing though.
Alan was great.
For what it's worth,
Alan was fucking
straight up
fantastic.
MC. Hawkins would bust out a sick freestyle out of the day. You know what I'm saying? So Hawkins had a decent flow. He got the whole court roaring. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respect his game.
Quick with it, as they say.
Yeah.
So that's why I think.
He had a good time.
So Princess Gwendolyn, I actually picked somebody different. I picked Scarlett Johansson. Johansson.
She in too much shit.
If you no, the reason why is because the fact that if you ever seen that movie that she did with Adam Driver, which was the divorce movie that they had, I thought that Princess Gwendolyn was a really good pick for this because Scarlett Johansson. But for her maid,
you know what? I could see her being a little bit more mean.
Yeah. For maid Jean, I thought Ali Wong was good. Sir Griswold, I picked Channing Tatum. I want a big dude, but Channing Tatum would have been a good guy to kind of keep the comedy going, as well as John Turturro for Sir Ravenhurst, and then also Jeffrey Wright as the original Black Fox. Griselda, Leslie Mann, as well. So for my king, Roderick, Stephen Lang. I think that he would have been
the king. I would want Leslie Nielsen.
That's not a bad pick neither. That's not.
I mean, he's dead though, so that kind of scuffles those plans.
Yeah,
I would have put Leslie Jones as Griselda because I think that just that image of tall ass Leslie Jones.
Bro, that'd be funny too.
You the greatest with a blade.
Yeah. Why you always gotta threaten me? Why you always gotta threaten me with dying every time you gonna die?
I would recast this whole movie with just black people. Keegan-Michael Key is Hawkins. We got Tiana Paris. I think she'd be good as Maid Jane because I think she could pull that badassness off. We're gonna have.
Don't talk over Jamel. Cut him off and stay obese.
Yeah,
no, go right ahead.
I was trying to remember last week when you guys were talking. You said somebody else this week was going to get you guys' vote for what is it? The Velvet.
Freight train.
That was
Yeah,
Freight Train.
but she wasn't mentioned, but I think I forgot her. I forgot her name, but I remember. Never mind.
What's a movie that she's been in?
It'll come back to me. And I'll let you know. I'm just gonna interrupt. I'm just gonna say it when it
Just say it out loud. That's fine.
All right. Giancarlo Esposito, I would have had him as Ravenhurst.
Giancarlo?
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
Okay.
Yeah. He should be Lex Luthor or Norman Osborn in the MCU or DCU. But anyway, let's get into our ratings for the week for The Court Jester. We have been all over the place with this movie. I've enjoyed it because it's been random. We went to places where I don't think we should go because apparently JT believes parents own children.
Never mind.
But anyway,
on an album.
As everyone knows, we have our 5-tier rating system. We've got winner, edger, slumper, sleeper, and dumpster. So we're gonna start with the guest this week. Wakia, what would you rate The Court Jester from 1955?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna be 100 with you guys right now. We're gonna be right, you and me. When I watched this movie last night, I fell asleep for about 65-70% of it.
Well,
automatically.
It is so.
No, none of that. It happened. Okay, that doesn't mean that it is a sleeper because I do enjoy it. From the past, so I can't say that it is a sleeper, but with my updated wokeness in life.
Both metaphorically and physically.
I mean, I would call it a slumper, but it's just difficult because there are parts that bring me so much joy. Like, so there are just parts that bring me so much joy. So it's between an edger and a slumper, and a slumper 0.5.
We don't do 0.5s right here.
So it's a slumper.
Just explain the whole thing.
Put it in a slumper territory.
I'm here to break rules.
So it's a slumper. So it's good, but
it's technically a sleeper because you fell asleep in the movie. Like it's technically that.
It's just
look. You gotta tell them what happened, Mariam.
Like,
just taking a night.
It was late when we was watching it.
I opened the window. The storm was coming through.
It was perfect conditions. The breeze was nice.
It don't matter what was on the TV. She was about to pass out.
I felt it, guys. It was hitting me, and I was trying so hard. Like I was trying.
Okay.
Because I was trying. And
but what would you rate the movie?
So I said a slumper. Okay, slumper.
A slumper.
Yeah.
Because you fell asleep and didn't get to read.
We'll give you that.
The joy that you actually saw.
I have to.
All right.
I mean, for myself.
I respect
it. That doesn't take away.
We'll allow it.
It does take away a little bit, yeah.
There were, that's why I said 2.0. Go ahead.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it this time.
Bro, no, say
what you mean. If you fall asleep during the movie,
that was a slumper. It's okay. It's your rating. It's your opinion. It's okay.
She got her own rating.
Yeah.
Instead of averaging her shit out, I got my own rating, y'all. This movie is a winner.
Go right.
If you like movies from the 1950s, go watch this one. If you don't like movies from the 1950s, these two. Wait.
All right.
These two. These two.
Jason, what about you? What say you about this movie?
That's history. I don't know.
History. Yeah, we don't know no Jasons around here, bro. This is only history.
Jason, what would you rate this movie?
I'm so sorry, Joe.
I thought you moved on and you were just saying your name.
Cause y'all keep fucking it up. But
nigga, what's your rating? Damn.
Right. Out with it, sir. Be technical with it.
I don't want to give it a dumpster.
Say it with your chest.
I don't want to give it a dumpster. So I'm actually going to voluntarily give this thing a sleeper. I think that voluntary. No, fuck. Yeah, it's a sleeper, dog. It's a sleeper. I was not interested in this movie. I was not interested in this movie at all. I watched this movie for the purpose of.
Did you watch it with anybody?
I did watch it with my wife, and also my kids ran away from the movie as well. They
That's how
literally
you know it's some fine wine that can't none of
no,
y'all young
homie.
people
No, homie.
Kids
understand.
can't drink
You
wine.
love what you love,
Understand. We
nigga,
know
and
I'm the
that's
oldest
okay.
person on this
You
panel. That's the problem. Y'all just
oldest person on this
Yup.
panel?
Uh-huh.
Nah, History was born like 2 years after this movie came out. He's the oldest.
My soul was just designed after this film. just
Mine was sitting there like, oh, that's a cool loop, God.
God. But with that,
I was
I'd say
born
it's a
in
sleeper,
the
dog.
90s, so
I'd say it's a sleeper. I do think that I agree with Wakil. They got some moments that give you kind of like joy. That's
This
why
was
it's not a
hilarious.
full
I don't know what's wrong.
dumpster. I don't think that it was hilarious. I don't feel like it was like laugh out loud. They had some moments where I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But I didn't have the same humor about it. So I get where it's your humor.
I mean,
And I
Dragon
get
Dragon.
where that as person can find it funny. I just don't think it was
the
funny.
fact you can
Wagging
go
with the
through that shit
dragon.
in real life and you can sit here and with a straight face tell me this movie is a sleeper.
So you
Something wrong.
said this before. You said,
Something wrong.
are we gonna rate the movie, right? I'm rating the movie. As far as life, if I wanted to rate that moment for life, yeah, that was a fucking winner
That
moment.
moment brought to you by the Court Chester.
Yeah, but as far
With
as
quality writing.
But as far as
He gonna throw
the
that
film
away.
itself, yeah, I'm gonna fucking throw that away.
Into consideration to his vote. That I think that's what bumped.
Well,
yeah, that's what bumped
He
it
just
up.
said
Yeah.
he wasn't interested in it. He didn't really critique the film. It just he
Oh
said
no!
it wasn't
If I thought it was trash, bro, I would have told you it was a dumpster. But it's not. I'm not gonna say it's a dumpster. I'm just definitely say that like some of the
But what
comedy
you're saying is
helped
it's
it
not
be
your
asleep.
speed though. What's wrong with the film?
The film was boring. It was boring to me. It
It's an
didn't.
old film,
It didn't fit. And it started off as 4 people, and then it became only one. It was like an episode of Survivor, dog. You know, like my wife clocked the fuck out on it, dog. My kids was like, dog, I'm gonna play this tablet. I'm gonna go play some Splatoon. Like my dog fucking fell asleep, bro. My dog went to sleep, bro, and she was barking at her fucking sleep. She was like sitting there chilling with us. Like nobody was into this movie. Like nothing.
See, that's the so it sounded like you was all sensitive to your environment and shit.
You defend your
dog.
movie. You defend
Come
your
on
movie.
now.
You defend your
Nah,
movie.
this movie is,
Go ahead, defend your movie.
If you don't
defend
think Danny Kaye is funny, then you're not gonna like this movie. But Danny Kaye is hilarious. Objectively hilarious.
This is your movie. And that's
it's my movie. And I keep
what I'm saying.
I'm
It's
looking
okay.
at you and you keep coming up with these excuses about how the people you watch the movie with keep fucking it up. That's awfully subjective of you.
Hey, you defending your movie right now. It's not subjective.
I give this movie.
I'm seeing how you work, dog. I'm just seeing how you work. Jamel, what you think of this film?
This movie was slumper territory for the first part of it. But then once we got into the castle, that's when my enjoyment of the movie actually did pick up. And that's when I kind of, again, the technical stuff, the wordplay, that stuff I enjoy. So I give it a very low edger. It's not something that I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to rewatch this one day on the weekend, or I'm going to play this when Hose is over. But this is a movie that I got enjoyment out of while we were watching it. So I give it a low edger.
I'm going to play with the hose are over.
Yes, why
like if the winches come around,
hold on. This
will not be.
Question. Why would a black person know about this film? And that's what he's talking about. He gonna play some stuff in the hose over. He not gonna pull this shit out. This thing gonna get over the panties wet. This is an old classic movie. Unless you're trying to
winches. I'm sorry. Winches is the word that we're not
watching this movie too long. Y'all been watching this movie too long.
Nah, this movie is
we would never call it with the hoes in this film, in this fucking podcast. The witches and these hoes.
I mean, this is a movie from the 50s, so it's influencing. I blame the 50s. I blame the 1950s. They suck. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our.
Oh God.
I think with all of our ratings combined, I think that might average out to like a slumper for the movie. But
we got 2 sleepers, 2.5 sleeper, 1.5 sleepers, edger and a winner.
Technically, we got 2 sleepers. Technically
2 sleepers, dog. That was the rule.
Technically, but we're giving Wakia a pass. We'll let slumper be the winner. So
yeah.
So that's gonna do it for the review.
4 and 5. which average out to 3.5, right? So that's
And Candy probably will say, this is a dumpster because it ain't
hold on.
Selena.
Let me see.
But
That's 14
anyway, that's gonna do it
divided
for
by
the movie review this
3.2, so this is a slumper.
4 divided by 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a slumper.
The math, somebody's good at math. But anyway, movie review for this week is done. Thank you to Wakia for joining us. I hope you had a good time with us. We got a lot of laughs out of this. Next week, I have the pick for the movie, my final pick for August. It's between a couple of films. We're either going to do the original Terminator 1, one of the 2 Terminator movies that exist. There's only 2 Terminator movies. I don't want to hear about any other ones. We might do Jackie Brown from 1997, Quentin Tarantino joint, or we might do Harlem Nights. I haven't decided. It's between those 3. I'll let y'all know this weekend. But all those movies are available on the free shit for
Nights,
so y'all will know. Y'all will know by the end of the weekend.
Right now. Come on with the Harlem Nights, bro.
So with that,
we'll figure it out.
With that, man, if you have any suggestions for this film, or if you are want to actually put your opinion out there as well, we will play it live. Just call the number 504-356-3266. You can actually hear your opinion live on the show. I'm going to try that out. Let's go for it. Let's do a phone message. So
can
if
you put that up on the screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video for it, but I just the number.
Put it in the Facebook group as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the Facebook group. So it is 504-356-3266. That is so I will definitely put that message up there. And this kind of goes into the next part. If you are enjoying this podcast and you want to actually help support, simply just hit that like, follow, and that subscribe button. Do it definitely on YouTube as well as also Spotify. Join us on Spotify.
Oh, we didn't before Wakia left. We didn't get where we can find her. We didn't give her shout outs to her social.
Find her at my house. Don't worry about it. She live with me, dog.
Yeah, if you got something for Wakia, just I guess write JT.
So JT, where can people find you?
You can find me at jtsvoice.com.
Yes.
But History, where can people find you?
Well, make sure that you actually check out the actual podcast every week on YouTube and then also Spotify under Historical Voices from the East Side podcast, as well as also on our Facebook group, active Facebook group. And we got an actual town hall chat as well, where we put up polls and stuff like that as well. And then also check out our YouTube, where we got a community active. It's the Historical Voices from the East Side. But you can also
you can find me on social media at Eastside Reviews on YouTube and Eastside Reviews 727 on YouTube and Eastside Reviews on TikTok. Also, in addition to the Historical Voices from the East Side, every Thursday with JT and with Jason, Island of Irrelevancy with Trail. There you go. And Jason. And also a new thing that I'm a part of, Friday Night every Friday night I am on talking wrestling with the Blur Cartel. So catch me over there also.
Awesome. And you can check out my socials on X as well as also on Instagram at HistoryW.
I refuse to call it X.
Bruh, I really feel bad about calling it X, but I mean, it's now updated.
You ain't gotta call it X. It's Twitter. Call it what it is. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's HBO Max.
If you call it X,
don't give in. Don't give in to these stupid ass corporations' names. Twitter. South African is ruining Twitter.
Yeah, but yeah, just check out our podcast, man, and then also definitely hit that like, subscribe, and follow as well. So we come to the end of our podcast where we actually decide it's fucking Twitter. Don't give in to the must punk ass. All right,
that's exactly what I'm talking about, Candy.
Yeah, Lead History Month. Let's do blood in, blood out. Okay, so that is one of the votes for August at the end of August. So with that, man,
August isn't Latin. Latino History Month.
Yeah, Latin History Month is coming up next month. So he was saying that was a suggestion for the movie. But with that, we come into the end of the podcast.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay.
We come to the end of the podcast.
We'll talk more.
Yeah. We come to the end of the podcast where we try to figure out and navigate a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Some people some people have stepped on our toes, and some people have some places that they have to wander in and also try to navigate even through the hardships. Some people are recovering from mild headaches after spending a little bit too long on the lake as well. And also on top of that, some people just now are figuring out that taking papers that they're not supposed to are actually illegal and not make bad phone calls. So we turn to the voice of reason to guide us, to help us through these tough situations, these tough times, these confusing times. So JT, tell us, what is the voice of reason this week? Oh,
I've been watching the tragedies that go on in Hawaii and noticing how other people have been treated. And, you know, the voice spoke to me and said it's easy to care about people when you are in front of them or in front of the camera. But true character is measured when nobody's around. And God sees both, and you won't be fooling him. He can tell the difference. So decide what kind of person you want to be. I feel like some of us are living lives, and if you could just pick a character and they pulled up a bunch of random MFs from across America, would you be one of the people you'd pick to enter the game of life? Be that kind of person. Be the kind of person you'd want to pick to be, because you got the power to do it. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.